So, I get a lot of comments about the word fat and the fact that I use it fairly regularly, maybe too much, according to some people. I do understand why you hate that word. I do. And it's not the word itself. It's the meaning behind it. I've been called that all my life, and I've had that vitriol pointed at me, and I didn't like that word. And if I'm completely honest, there's still a part of me that doesn't like that word. But that's one reason that I use it, because it's it's your decision and it's my decision. If it's going to affect me, it's my decision, and I have decided that I'm not going to let it affect me, because it's not a bad word. It means nothing. Well, it doesn't mean nothing. It means fat, and that's in itself not a bad thing. Why should I let that affect me? Why should I let someone else bring me down because they've decided that that word means something horrible? So I use it a lot as it's sort of a, desensitization sort of thing for myself and for you, I guess. Because the more you hear it, and the more you say it, but, if you can't say it, the more you hear it, and if not a positive light, then a neutral light, where it's not being used to say, you're ugly, you're horrible, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're going to die soon, you're, all these things that people attach to that word that it doesn't really mean. Hopefully the more you hear it in a neutral or positive way, the less it will affect you negatively. And so, I use it in my videos. I use it, I try to always put it in the title of the video. I guess that's kind of my OCD, because I started the first couple of videos had it, and then I was like, I can't leave it out now. So yes, I use it a lot. No, I'm not going to stop. I don't purposely throw it in there, but when it's appropriate, I will use that word. I actually made a video like this before, and then it never got posted, and there were other things I wanted to add to it, and I never did. So I figured I will start over, because today I read a blog post on whisperedperfection.com from my friend Cowbear, and he was talking about labels, which I've also touched on in the past, about how I am not a fan of labels in general. Labels having to do with fat, with sexuality, with just who you are. I'm just not a fan. I don't think we should have to say, I am this, and then that sort of makes you feel like you have to fit into that little mold, and that's, goes against what I feel. But at some point, labels are important. You have to label yourself in order to move forward, to find what you want in this world. You have to say, I am this, and I need this, right? They serve a purpose. And I mentioned BBW is not, I use the term because it's recognizable. And if someone's looking for a BBW, then, here I am. His post was about how there are so many labels in the plus size community. There is plus size, BBW, as is BBW, plumper. If I had sat down and written a list, I probably could have come up with about 20, but I didn't. So, and he asks, why do we feel this need to have so many labels? And I think, first of all, it's because of the fact that we feel certain words are derogatory, like fat. So, you don't want to use the word fat because you feel it's hurtful, so you want to use words like chubby or plump or, full-figured. There's another one. Whatever. But even those, they become tainted with comments like, oh, if you just weren't so chubby, you'd be so beautiful. Things like that are often well meant. There's often a good intention behind them, but apparently the person speaking doesn't have enough sense or experience to realize how hurtful it actually is, and so those words become tainted, and then we need a new word. And in general, this society is just obsessed with political correctness, and every time we have a new politically correct term, then we go searching for another one. We're just not satisfied. And maybe that's because as soon as, we have a new term, then it's out there, it's popular, it's being used, and it's also open for criticism and open for being tainted in that same way. Then once that happens, we need a new word. There are obviously uses. As Cal mentioned in his post, if you're in the adult industry, you're going to want to use those labels for people to find you. Or if you're searching for love, you're going to want to say, I am plus-sized, I am a BBW, because you're going to want someone who can appreciate it, and, who can appreciate it. There are obviously uses for those labels, but, I don't know, the world would be a lot better if we didn't have to say, I am such and such, I think.